What's the weirdest thing you've caught your pet doing when they thought you weren't watching? My cat Meredith started acting strange about 6 months after my boyfriend Dylan moved in. At first, I thought it was normal adjustment behavior. Cats hate change, right? But this wasn't typical hiding under the bed stuff. Every morning around 7 a.m., Meredith would sit perfectly still in the hallway, staring at Dylan's office door. Not meowing, not pawing at it, just watching. When I mentioned it to Dylan, he laughed it off. "She's probably hearing mice in the walls," he said, scratching behind her ears. "Old buildings, you know." But our apartment was only 3 years old, and I'd never seen mice. The weird behavior escalated. Meredith would follow Dylan around the apartment, always staying exactly 6 feet behind him. If he sat down, she'd position herself where she could see both him and the nearest exit. When he reached for his laptop bag, she'd bolt to my side and refuse to leave. "It's like she's surveillance," I joked to my sister over the phone. "Animals have instincts," she said. "Maybe you should pay attention." I started watching more carefully. Dylan worked from home 3 days a week in his office, a converted bedroom with frosted glass doors. He claimed to do financial consulting, though I'd never met any clients or seen him take business calls. When I asked about his work, he'd give vague answers about market analysis and pivot to asking about my day. Last Tuesday, I came home early from my shift at the clinic. Dylan's car was in the parking lot, but the apartment felt empty. Then I heard Meredith making a sound I'd never heard before, a low, continuous growl coming from outside Dylan's office. I found her pressed against the frosted glass, every muscle tensed. Through the distorted glass, I could see Dylan at his desk, but something was wrong with the picture. Too many shapes, too much movement. The office door was locked. Dylan never locked that door. I knocked softly. The sounds inside stopped abruptly. Footsteps, shuffling. A full minute passed before Dylan opened the door, looking flustered. "Hey babe," he said, blocking my view inside. "Thought you were working late?" Behind him, I glimpsed his laptop screen, multiple video windows showing what looked like live feeds. Before I could focus, he slammed it shut. "What were you watching?" I asked. "Work stuff, boring spreadsheets." But spreadsheets don't require webcams or locked doors. That night, while Dylan showered, I found Meredith in the hallway again. This time, she was pawing at something under the office door, a small black wire, barely visible, snaking from inside the office toward my bedroom. I followed the wire. It disappeared behind my dresser, where I found a tiny camera pointed directly at my bed. My hands shook as I traced more wires. One led to the bathroom, another to the living room, all connected to a central hub hidden in Dylan's locked office. Dylan had been filming me for months. When he emerged from the shower, I was sitting on the couch with my laptop, Meredith on my lap like a furry bodyguard. "Find anything interesting in your office today?" I asked. His face went white. "I can explain." "Explain what? The cameras? The locked door? The fact that my cat figured out you were a creep before I did?" He tried to stammer excuses. "Security concerns. Protecting our apartment. Making sure I was safe." "Safe from what?" I asked. "And why would security cameras be pointed at my bed?" He had no answer. I'd already called my brother, who was driving over with 2 friends. I'd also called the police, who were very interested in Dylan's hard drives. As we waited, Meredith sat between us, her yellow eyes never leaving Dylan's face. She'd been trying to protect me this whole time. "You know what the weirdest part is?" I told the police officer later. "My cat was surveilling the guy who was surveilling me. She was better at it too." Dylan was arrested that night. Turns out I wasn't his first victim. Meredith got extra treats and her favorite spot back on my bed, where no cameras would ever point again.